Okay, first of all, welcome everyone to our first TeenHeal webinar. Thank you all for joining, and I know that this webinar is like just the first step that we need to make TeenHeal a global movement. So my name is Annika, and I'm an 11th grader in high school at Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm honored to welcome you guys all to speak and to listen in today's webinar. So just a quick few words on why I started TeenHeal. Like many of my friends, I kind of found myself getting really attached to my phone, or I was unable to kind of stop scrolling. And I decided to sort of start this movement in order to help other teenagers realize that it wasn't just them, and also just so that they could find out different ways that we could try and help social media addiction and other things that affect teenagers as well. And then a special thank you to all of our speakers. We're so grateful to have all of the experts and the researchers and the teachers here to speak a little bit about social media addiction. And your contributions are truly helping make TeenHeal a global sort of movement and to spread the word about social media addiction. And so really quickly, today's agenda, we're going to hear from, like I said, experts and researchers and people who've dedicated a lot to social media addiction and this kind of cause. And we will also see the social media reports from the UAE and from India as well, just to see different data across different countries and how this is a global problem. It's not just in one country. And the role of FOMO, and also how to use social media mindfully, and so that we can use social media and work with it instead of work against it. And we'll also see the link of social media addiction and anxiety and stress and academic performance as well. And the link also between sleep and sleep-related disorders and scrolling at night or being distracted. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy and are able to learn something from this.
Thank you, Annika. Thank you. I do want to take this time to especially thank Arundhati. She has been the linchpin of all this initiative along with Arunika and Nafi. And, so this has been a very, very joint effort, and hopefully we can take it forward, continue some other initiatives. This is just the first one in, raising awareness on social media addiction. So with that, Arundhati, let me hand it over to you, and you can take it from here in terms of introducing the speakers and running with the agenda.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the globe. And thank you so much for joining us today for this global webinar. Thank you, Annika, for your wonderful introduction and the motive behind starting this great project. So our first speaker is Dr. Nafi, and she is a general practitioner in UAE. She is a very, very prolific, inspiring, and a very bubbly physician. She has completed all her USMLE steps and has been to US as well, and will be a future physician in the US. So let's welcome Dr. Nafi with her topic, TeenHeal Social Media Survey Report, and she will be presenting data collected in the UAE continent. So the stage is yours, Dr. Nafi.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Nafi. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So let's start. Yes. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Dr. Nafi, and the topic for my presentation is TeenHeal Social Media Survey Report from UAE. UAE, also known as United Arab Emirates, it's a Middle Eastern country. If UAE is famous for one place, one of its emirates, and that's Dubai. Dubai is the international hub. We welcome millions of visitors every year. It is known for its vibrant nightlife, luxurious shopping, and of course, definitely the skyscrapers. It's a country that consists of 10 million of population, 11% of which are Emiratis or the locals. So the capital of UAE is Abu Dhabi. We have got 7 emirates here in the UAE. You've got your Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah. So these are the iconic landmarks. We have a lot of this, many of these, but these are the few that is very famous. This is our Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on this earth. This is Burj Al Arab, 7-star hotel. This is Ferrari World, where we have the fastest roller coaster in the world. We have many more iconic landscapes. These are just few that I had to present. So moving on to my presentation. So we had this survey, and the survey had 13 questions. Few of the questions were generic questions. It asked, which part of the world are you from? What is your age? What is your gender? Rest of the question asked about you to rate from 1 to 5. So I had collected 160 responses from the UAE. So let's see. The first question that was asked is, which part of the world are you coming from, and state the Emirates. So I did not include that question because, again, it's understood I'm collecting the data from UAE. So the second question is, what is your age in years? Most of our responders belong to the age group from 17 to 18 years of age, followed by 22 and 28 years, followed by 19 years and 20 years. What is your gender? Most of our responders were females, which was around 63.7%. And we had male responders, they were around 36.3%. How much time during the day do you spend on social media on your phone? So this had criteria: 1 to 2 hours per day, 2 to 3 hours per day, or more than 3 hours per day. Most of our responders, 51.9% of them, spend more than 3 hours per day, followed by 2 to 3 hours per day, followed by 1 to 2 hours per day. Which social media platform do you use the most? So the social media platform that is used the most in UAE is Instagram, followed by WhatsApp, followed by TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook. Now we come to the scale question. So these were the questions where we had asked the population to scale it. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall social media usage? So when you see the readings, 35% of our responders were neutral. So neutral is either you're unsure about it or either you don't want to answer the question. 21 to 29% of them responded saying that they have high to very high usage of social media. And very little of them, which was around 6 to 7% of them, responded saying little to no usage. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much of your social media use is influenced by your friends or classmates? So here, basically, we asked them to respond, asking them, was there any sort of peer pressure? Did they have the classmates pressuring them to use social media? 30% of them, again, neutral, either unsure or didn't want to answer. 23.1% of them responded saying no, they were not at all influenced by their peers. Very little of them, which was around 6.3% of them, were very strongly influenced by their peers. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much time do you spend thinking about social media or planning how to use it? So this question basically asked, is there any sort of prior planning that goes before you use social media? 25 to 30% of them have commented saying they don't spend much time. So they use it. I mean, they use it. They have the social media, they use it. But very little of them, which was around 9.4%, apparently they spend a lot of time thinking prior. Should I use it? Should I not use it? So there is some prior planning going behind the scene. On a scale of 1 to 5, how strong of an urge do you feel to use social media more and more? So here, basically the question had asked, is there an urge? Rate your urge. Do you feel like you have that urge, intense urge that you need to use social media? 28.1% of them were neutral about this fact, unsure or didn't want to answer. 18.1% of them, they said no, they don't have an urge of using social media. But not very far away from 18.1%, 16.3% of them have commented saying that no, they have very high urge in using social media. On a scale of 1 to 5, how often do you use social media to forget about personal problems? So here, basically, they asked, did you use your social media as a distraction from your personal problems? 20.6% of our responders, they responded saying very often. So social media was their distractor from their personal life or personal problems. 13.8% of them commented saying never. They never used social media as a personal, as a distractor. It was something they used because they wanted to use it. On a scale of 1 to 5, have you been successful in cutting down the use of social media? Here, they basically meant, was there any cutting down? If you use social media, did you try to reduce it? 30.6% of them neutral, either unsure or did not want to comment. 13.23% of them were not successful in cutting down their social media usage. And around 11 to 20% of them, they were successful. So that is something good. They were successful in cutting down their social media usage. On a scale of 1 to 5, how restless or troubled do you become if you are prohibited from social media usage? So here, basically, the question is asking, if you're not given your social media, do you feel restless? Do you feel troubled? Is there some sort of intense emotion related to not getting to use your social media? 29.4% of the respondents, they were not at all troubled. So that is a good thing. But 9.4%, which is again a very small amount of responders, they were very restless or troubled if they were not given that social media or if they were not using it. The last question asked in the survey, it was a 13-question based survey. So the last question was, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate the extent of social media use? How would you rate the extent to use social media use has a negative impact on studies? So here, basically, they're asking, is there a negative impact on your education because of social media? This was an interesting finding. 26.3%, they were neutral. They didn't want to comment, or they were unsure about the fact whether it had an impact or not. Whereas rest 26.3%, they commented saying no negative impact. But not very far away from 26.3%, 20.6% of them said that there is a highly negative impact on their education. So this is probably the population that we need to be working on as well. So this brings me to the conclusion. The conclusion is, this is just the survey data from UAE. UAE is just one country from the entire world. We need bigger data. Why do we need bigger data? So that we could come out with analysis, better interpretation. And in case, if there is an impact, negative impact, we need to work on it. There has to be. This is how we figure out ideas. How can you work on social media addiction? Each question may need a sub-question, which means the last question that was asked, is there a negative impact? So if there is a negative impact, if yes is the answer, what is the impact? Eye strain, headache, personal problems, academic problems. So few questions might require sub-questions. And that is the reason why. The more deeper you go with questions, it might get more difficult and it might take longer to interpret, but that way we can work on deeper level. We can bring out strategies where we can help our students, the future, or even the adults at a deeper level. So this is the take-home message from my presentation. Students are the future, they're the youth. So we need to be working on social media addiction, nevertheless. So the main thing is that it is not one person's job. It requires a collaborative effort. We need an army. We need the teachers, because if there is an addiction, we need our teachers. They need to bring the curriculum. They need to put those rules and regulations out there. We need the public health officers. We need the statisticians, because we need somebody to bring the data, interpret the data, analyze it, and then come up with solutions. So it's again, students are the future, but it is not one person's job. We need an army. We need a collaboration. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you. If there's any question, please.
Thank you, Dr. Nafi. This was amazing, and you rightly pointed out. It's not one person or one team. It needs the whole army, and this is a real issue. So, thank you for bringing light to this addiction, even from a UAE perspective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So that was a great presentation, Dr. Nafi, and thank you so much for your time. Our next speaker is Dr. Krishnendu. He is again a medical student, first-year medical student. And as we travel the globe, we go to Russia now, and he is studying MBBS from Russia. And he will be presenting his data and his presentation about social media addiction. So Krishnendu, please go ahead. Thank you.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
Not yet. It'll be here. You can share your screen.
Yeah, you should be able to use screen share. Are you not able to?
Sir, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, may I start now?
Sure, sure. Please go ahead.
So I am Kisnendu Vikas Mondal, first year medical student from North Ossetian State Medical Academy. I am an Indian and I came to Russia for doing MBBS, and I am doing actually MBBS abroad from Russia. So I will be sharing the social media trap and how it is affecting my generation. So today I will be discussing negative impacts of social media in the student's life, how social media impacts on physical and mental health of teenagers. Surveys showing percentage of social media users among teenagers in USA, how social media becomes addiction to a student, especially effective ways how we can stop social media addiction and how we can shift our focus in a good way. So let me start with my main slide, the negative impacts of social media in students' life. Social media, what it is doing nowadays is decreasing the attention span of students. First of all, there used to be 12 seconds the attention span of an average student. Now the attention span reduced to 8 seconds, whereas the attention span of a goldfish is around 9 seconds. So we human beings are losing our own identity by this so-called social media. So we need to reduce our social media screen time. Not only does this affect, but it reduces academic performance also. A student getting 100 in first attempt in any exam and getting 97, he is thinking that he is not degrading his academic career, but little bit and little bit, slowly, just like an insect, it is mm, affecting like a pesticide the social media impacts too. And missed deadlines and opportunities in schools, colleges, and universities. Students are given assignments and that we need to complete in a particular amount of time. But due to social media addiction, we are using social media 5 to 6 hours daily, and that is not only impacting our time, but it is also impacting our overall performance, that is the academic performance, and we are missing our assessments in proper time and the opportunities too. Not only does it affect academic impact, it affects our mental health too. It increases stress and anxiety students. Sometimes if from any student our phone, laptop or tablet is snatched away, the students guessed, no, I cannot do that. I need to use my phone. I need to check my notifications. And that is how we decreases our self-esteem and we get addicted to social media. After having food or something, we were supposed to take rest or read some valuable books or that is self-help books. And instead of that, our social media is causing sleep disturbances, particularly to students. Social impacts, social isolation. If we talk about our father or our grandfather, at that time there was no social media, so they used to mix with the community people. And from nowadays, what we can see from this first picture, we are getting addicted to social media in such a way that we are becoming introvert from extrovert. Decreases our face-to-face communication skill. Last, just like we become shy, some students become too much introvert that they cannot properly communicate with their parents and teachers also. They cannot freely express their own feelings. Cyberbullying also happens in social media. If someone is posting any something in Instagram, maybe on Facebook, and the students or the classmates, they are putting negative comments. And we are also abstaining from outdoor games, just like we used to play cricket, football, etc. And nowadays we are not doing so, and it is affecting especially the teenagers, and it is degrading the students life. Other negative effects, like due to insomnia also happens. The physical health impacts can be seen. The online ads that used to come in Facebook ads or YouTube ads, we get become addicted to it, we become hypnotized by it, and we get on shopping without checking our debit or credit limit. And it helps in reducing time management impacts. We cannot to cope up with the time, and we cannot understand how our 24 hours passes by without even knowing that how we are unproductively leading our day. So I will be telling impacts of social media on physical health mainly: burning eyes, headache, backache, change in weight, and loss in appetite, and disturbed sleep, disease, insomnia are the main causes of mental health in social media. Now I will be talking about a majority of teen visit YouTube, TikTok daily. So this is the survey and this is the result. In YouTube, almost 16 teenagers and almost use it constantly, several times a day, around 38. The number is so much. And this is just a survey of some students, not the whole survey. And if we talk about TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram, the number is also not less. So let me tell how actually social media becomes addiction to a student. First of all, we think that we'll be using social media only 2 to 3 hours a day. But that 2 to 3 hours we should use productively. But if we are using it unproductively, it is becoming negatively impact too much that we do not know that we use our phones around 2600 times a day. This is too much. After COVID-19 especially, an average Indian spike his screen time by 25% to 6.9 hours. If we talk about 7 hours, 7 hours is a huge productive time out of 24 hours. If we are wasting 7 to 8 hours in social media, then we are not only wasting 1/3 of our student life, but we are also spending valuable time, which we can do in learning new skills. If we snatch phone from teenagers, they get irritated, restless, and some experience stress also. Social media addiction can actually be compared to addictions of like cigarettes, alcohols, drugs, and gambling. So the psychology is like a hedonic treadmill. In hedonic treadmill, what happens is we first of all, suppose someone is giving us a chocolate and we are finding it attractive. But in the continuous 7 days, if we are taking same amount of chocolate, then we will not getting the same pleasure and the same satisfaction level. The same dopamine is not released by our brain. So we need something more. The social media addictions also acts in a similar way. Today if we are using 2 hours and after 5 days if we are continuously using it for 2 hours, then the addiction does not stop there. We need to use it around 7 to 8 hours, and that is how the time span of social media increases, and that is becoming an addiction to not only teenagers but to ages of all people. So we should stop it and we should shift our, I think we should shift our focus to some productive work that just like in social media we can find around the new skills, around the new projects that is happening around the world. And in Play Store and in App Store there are also many good apps where students can use it effectively to learn new languages, and there is you can do face-to-face communication skill with around global teachers around the world. These are the positive sides, so we should shift our focus from that one. So I would like to thank Teen and community, and I would like to thank you everyone for presenting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Krishnendu. This was great. Thank you so much for presenting your
Thank you,
data,
ma'am.
and it had a lot of details and covered a lot of medical aspects about social media addiction. So it was a true eye opener. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Would you like to say something, Kavan sir?
No, I was waiting for the next speaker. Who's the next one?
Okay. So our next speaker is our high school student. He's in 12th grade and he's one of our youngest participant and panelist, Rehan. And he will be talking about FOMO, which is a fear of missing out and its role in social media addiction. So welcome, Rehan. And
Thank you,
can
ma'am.
go ahead
Thank you,
with
sir.
your presentation.
Yes, Rehan, I mean, special commendation for you and all the high schoolers. I mean, if at this
Thank you,
age
sir.
you all are interested and you're willing to tackle this problem, really appreciate. And thank you for taking this initiative. I think this
Thank you,
is a
sir.
great one that you've taken. So thank you,
So first of
Rehan,
all,
and
I
thank
would
you to
like
all
to
the high
thank
schoolers.
everyone, the organization, all the seniors, everyone for letting us speak, because it's a wonderful opportunity for each one of us to, express our ideas, thoughts, and everything. So I'm very grateful. We all are grateful, matter of fact. So can I start my presentation? Is it okay?
Sure, please.
Yes,
go ahead.
yes.
Is it visible?
Yes.
So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And I'm Rehanes, and I'm presenting about FOMO, which is fear of being missed out in the current era of social media. And before entering into this vicious cycle of seeking social validation and materialism, I would like to simply illustrate this with my simple example of my story over these years, because I didn't have much friends through these entire life of mine. So back in my high school, I never got to be wished in my birthdays, which was hardly celebrated on the first occasion. So all these years, there has been these certain thoughts accumulating over my mind, like, oh man, that guy gets like 100 wishes on Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and I usually seeked out, man, like, that's crazy. He has so many friends. He has so many people to be around with, and that certain jealousy was always within me until a certain point of time. And I want to express how this journey was, how I became addicted to social media, how my phase was before I started using social media, and how overcoming and detoxing social media led to me achieving a certain sanity which I haven't achieved. So I want to explain this by just giving out some theatrical and basic expressions. And that is, this vicious cycle of social validation is always within us from a very young age itself. Because when you go to a simple birthday party of 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, what you see is that they always get, okay, like that guy, he has a toy, he has a Hot Wheels special edition. I want that as well. And that certain thought, that certain needing of others' objects, others' enjoyments, others' or dopamine hits, those things, they creep up to you rather than what you really want to do. And that is basically the simple beginning and understanding of the fear that is always within us of being missed out. And that certain understanding should be understood in 3 phases, which I'll be giving you with my life illustrations as well. The first stage is life without social media. And life without social media, it's very interesting because I was in that phase back in my 9th and 10th years. That was around 2022, 21 lockdown era. And all those times was pretty interesting because I just hit my puberty. I just hit my growing stage of life. I just came into adolescence, and all these things, I had a pretty strong identity of who I was, what I wanted to do, and all these certain scenarios of not wanting to know what others did, not wanting to know what gave you that certain coolness that you wanted in high school. All these things just made me happy. That's the regular reality that all teenagers have to accept before their time in social media. And that is cognitive clarity, reduced social comparison, stable identity formation, better emotional and mental health. That's very important because over the time when you use social media, your health is going to be so bad, it's going to be so messed up that you might not even want to try to live for yourself, but rather to live according to what others want you to be if you want to be cool. And that certain things is pretty mad. And mindful presence and attention span, all these things are basic essence of your life, of your quality that is always going to be with you without the life. And when you always get into social media, that's the phase. When I started social media, I'll just give you a simple illustration of mine. When I went back in 10th semester 2, it was pretty interesting. I had a party over there of Halloween and I wasn't invited. And that was the biggest thing that crooked me up my mind that, oh, that guy was invited. He hosted the party and we all were invited except me. And he took photographs of those. He didn't tag me. She didn't tag me. All these people were posting with Gucci, Versace, all these expensive ass dresses, and I was like, what? Like they are all doing all these interesting things, and without me. So without me, that's that one phrase that always lies within me. I just don't want to do what they are doing. I just want to show others that I am doing all these things as well. And this certain thought always lies in 3 processes, and one is constant scrolling. You just want to know how many likes you got, how many comments you got, how many positive reviews you got. And all these things, they just creep you back into the same old position. Why, what? Why more likes? Why didn't I get that much likes? And then you crave for a certain validation. That's a social validation. That's the currency of today's era. All these generations, we are all karma farming, to be honest. That's the certain reality we need to accept. More the likes, more the subscribers, more the followers, all these things, They just add your celebrity status to a certain extent where you need to explode into the scene. And then comes the major issue, that's the mental overload, because your mind is still locked upon other things that are concerning about how you are reflecting a certain part of yourself into a media, into a platform where others are judging and not your self-development or your self-development character or anything. Your character is still remaining the same, but rather you're just trying to prove others that, yeah, I'm doing all these things. So then we fall into this vicious cycle of anxiety, depression, and loneliness. And I don't think that's something a teenager or anyone would want to fall into. Hopefully, I never felt this much seriousness, but I felt loneliness during my birthdays when others got wished I didn't. That was pretty sad at first. I had a little bit of depressing moments. I couldn't say it's depression. It's just depressing moments when when others are involved and not you, when others are posing and not yourself, and when others are collectively having fun and you're just sitting in your home, just looking and scrolling at what others are doing. And all these things, they just do live within all of us. But we need to reflect upon these things and we need to overcome this certain reality. And that certain reality is what I can explain as nomophobia, which is the fear of no mobile phone. And that is also adding a very certain element or a broad vision of what is truly a big issue, a very relevant issue that lies in each one of us age, but we are very much neglecting upon. And how are these detrimental outcomes going to impact us? One is our social compassion theory. We try to evaluate oneself by comparing with others, often triggered by social media content. We become digitally narcissists because we just feel like, okay, if I achieved all these things, okay, man, I'm really better than all of you. I had a story with a certain celebrity. I went into that Travis Scott concert. I had a photograph with a Porsche or a Ferrari. That's so cool. And that certain narcissism always lies within us, which I don't think is something that's really great, which is a very detrimental outcome. You just try to evaluate yourself with something or a certain relevant not relevant thing which isn't really existing. And the third thing is FOMO, which is fear of better options. And the fourth one is social validation theory. And that's a very interesting quote. If others don't have it, then it's okay for me to not have it as well. And this sort of thought also encapsulates what the President Roosevelt said back in 1902, which is comparison is the thief of joy. And this certain comparison always lies in our addiction to social media. And how do we detox? How do we overcome this certain fear? Because I started I just completed this book just yesterday. This is Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese term of the secret of life, the secret of a happy life, to be honest. And this certainly explains what you love, what the world needs of you, what you are good at, and what you can be useful for yourself and for the society as well. And this certain book taught me this certain concept of Epicureanism and Roman Stoicism, which simply emphasizes the fact on focusing on simple pleasures, inner peace, avoiding unnecessary deviations and everything, but trying to find our life, our momentum in the current moment to go situations, and emphasizing self-control, rationality, a detachment from public opinion, and social comparison. So all these things, they have to come into a certain jigsaw puzzle, and all these puzzles have to fall into the right place. And now I'm 18, I'm turning 18, I'm having my birthday this coming month. What do I expect from the public? I don't really care much, because that's the first reality. I'm grown. I have made a couple of friends. Those wish me. I have family who will wish me. I have cousins who will wish me. And this certain of world of materialism, of seeking social validation, of having this certain unnecessary headache of how many wishes I'll be getting, how many likes I'll be getting. This certain rationality, this certain emphasizing fact will not be within me by the next birthday. That is, I'm very happy to achieve this certain sanity, because it's been hard. it's been really challenging over these years. But I think that is finding your inner self, finding a certain peace, finding something to do that you love, all these things that really puts you where you are, who you are, and what you will reflect as yourself to the current world, and which is what I believe as the true essence of life in my 18 years. And that is simply what can encapsulate yourself, keep you away from all these tensions, and live a better life for yourself. And that was the basic presentation that I had.
Great job, Rehan. That was a good presentation. Yes, Pawan sir.
Yeah, no, I was saying excellent job as usual. I'm very proud of all the high schoolers. So well done, Rehan.
Thank you, sir.
And we would like to wish you a happy birthday in advance from all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. That was
Oh, happy
lovely.
birthday. I didn't realize.
All right. So our next speaker is Shivani, and she is in Bangalore, India, and she is currently doing her master's in business administration. And she will be presenting her perspective about how social media addiction affects real life relationships. So, Shivani, please go ahead with your presentation.
Yeah, ma'am. Once again. I don't know whether to say good morning or good afternoon. I guess it's good afternoon. No? Good afternoon,
Shivani, your
everyone.
video is not on. So can you?
Yeah, no video. I can't share. I'm like this. Wait, I will share my screen once again. Mm. Can you hear me or can you see my slide?
Yeah, we can hear you
Yes.
and we can see the slides. We cannot see you, but I guess that's fine.
Oh, I off my camera.
You can
That's
switch it
what.
on if you want.
No issues.
We
Okay,
just do
myself
the
Shiva.
slide share mode if you don't mind.
Slideshow.
Slideshow.
Slideshow. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Can I start now? Hello.
Yes, you can start.
Yes.
Okay. My topic is about how social media addiction affects real life relationships. It's like nowadays the social, like I don't say the social media is a bad, but addiction is a bad thing. Now it's like the next slide shows it as
1
a
minute,
social media.
Shivani. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your slide is on the last slide. If you can see your own slides, can you scroll them to the first one or start a slideshow? It's on the top panel
Yeah,
besides
can you?
animations.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
have clicked.
Dr.
Now,
Aru,
can
I'll
you
just
see?
tell you. Shivani, look up on the red line. You can see red line? Red.
Yeah, I understood, but I
Open the
have
slides.
opened it. Yeah,
Open the
slideshow
slideshow.
itself. Slideshow itself I open, but I can see slideshow otherwise only. But you guys can't see. I don't know how.
Okay, do one thing, then go manually. If it is not working, click manually on the slide. Stop the slideshow and click manually each slides because we are not able to see it as slideshow. Yeah, very good. One slide, you read that and then you move to the next, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see now?
Yes, we can see your first page, your title page. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Can you see the second slide now?
No, you have
You
to
can see now?
manually shift it because we cannot see
Yeah,
your slide.
manually shift. Now, maybe there is some trouble in this. Can you see the second
Yes,
slide?
now we can see it. Yes.
Maybe I have to keep it full screen itself, I guess. Like I can't keep a slideshow. Is that fine? Oh, can I present now? Like social media is like a drug addicts now. Like it's like a pills. With the as if you are unhealthy, you will have pills. Like same way, if you are like feeling somewhat, you will be using social media itself. Like seeing reels, Instagrams, things. And social media is like a cigarette packet. We could have compared it like using, I could say like in India or somewhat, like using cigarettes, people are more lesser than using social media. More social media people are using more than cigarettes, that kind of thing. And once again, and it's like unproductive day. Yeah, whenever it's you wake up in the morning, you directly go to scroll Instagram, Facebook, those kind of things. Then it will be like an unproductive day for you guys. And it's like mm, mm, no effectiveness, like. And next, neglect and lack of quality time. It's like access to social media use can cause individuals to prioritize online interaction over spending time with their partners or family. Like this can lead feelings to neglect and lack of connection with their relationships, as you could have seen in the image. And even in the dining table also, it will be like disconnected. Everyone, children will be using the phone, and even the parents. And even when the child cry, first thing you will be giving your phone, like to console it. Like you will be giving to see them the YouTube videos, Instagram plays, so that that let the children have the food. This is like to becoming habit from the beginning itself. It's becoming like a addiction from the starting. These things should have been avoided by the parents. And like it's like unrealistic expectation and comparison, no? Like social media often present a curated and idealized view of relationship, like leading individual to compare their own lives to this unrealistic way. Then this can lead to feelings in inadequacy and dissatisfaction with their own relationship. And you will think, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, see that by seeing some reels, no, why she's so slim, how I could have been. Or by seeing the branded things, like, okay, she's using Gucci bag now. Oh, why, when I'll be buying? Or those kind of things you'll be thinking. And see her makeup, how she is, those kind of things, like that. Compare, you will be comparing yourself with the other. That's what happened by using the more social media. And potential for cyberbullying and abuse, like social media can be like cyberbullying and online abuse. Well, you can have serious consequences, both individual and their relationship. Like the you are like if you're in the teenager, like your family thinks too bad, and even the relatives will torture your family only. What is that? Even the it will hurt your parents more. Like if you use it more, and if something happens in the wrong way, means like cyberbullying means spreading rumors of lies or posting humiliating photos or videos, those kind of things. And like phone addiction, like I can tell you the story that when I was coming from my office, and there will be most traffic here in Bangalore, okay. And the guy is like what he's in the traffic, and he's seeing YouTube, like well the means traffic, in the traffic only, he's like seeing the YouTube videos and all. In the place of Google Map, he's keeping the phone and like using the YouTube videos. Like he's like so addicted that, oh, maybe he have to complete the next series, or like that on kind of things. And even the social media addiction is like, even you'll get the movies and what series over there, and you'll be like, oh, what is the next episode, when it will be, etc., etc. Will be like what thinking what will happen. And every day you'll be like curious about it, what next, etc. Okay, this much is much, right? Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, Shivani, for your presentation. It was really nice to hear your perspective and how it affects personal relationships. Thank you so much for your time. You can stop sharing the screen now.
Okay, one second.
All right. So our next speaker is Dr. Sola Bomi, and she is a medical officer working in Nigeria, Africa, and she will be presenting her perspective about what is mindful media and how to use social media positively. And also, she will talk about how to detox from social media. So, Dr. Shola, a warm welcome to you. I also would like to add that she's a very integral part of our team, and she has been working tirelessly for all the aspects of this global webinar, in addition to speaking about her perspective here in the presentation. And she is one of our sub leaders, and a great contributor to this webinar. So, thank you so much, Shola, and we are very happy to see you here. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Hi, thank you so much. Good day, everyone. Hi, Arun Dati. I am so
Hi,
grateful
how
for
are you?
that introduction, and I'm really happy to be part of TeenHeal, and I'm so great that today has come, and it's such a great honor to be here and to speak about my experience with social media and everything else. It was also a great work with TeenHeal, and you definitely made everything come out as beautifully as it did. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that I can start presenting. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, hi, let me just introduce myself again. I'm Dr. Onodipe Sholabumi. I am a medical officer working here in Nigeria, and I will be talking about mindful media, how we can use social media positively, and knowing when we should detox. This is a guide for teens and young adults, majorly because this is a stage whereby we can get things very confused, and we might not be using social media for the right reasons. The first I'm going to talk about, let me just give you the highlights of how this slide is going to go. We're going to talk about the bright side of social media, which is the positive effects of social media. Then we're going to go into burnout and the negative effects of social media. Then we're going to finish up with how we can detox from it. So, of course, we're in the age of social media, so we can never ever say that social media is something that we should not do or we should stay away from social media. Social media is bad for us. No, even most of the people here on this webinar, a lot of promotion was done on social media. So we can definitely say that social media has its positive effects. So what are these positive effects? Staying connected with friends and family. A lot of people are all over the world. We have people in India, in Nigeria, in the US, in Pakistan. So how do we stay connected to our friends and family? We do that on social media. We can also learn things from social media and gain knowledge. This is very important. Depending on what you're reading on social media, you can gain a lot of knowledge from social media. Discover opportunities. We're talking internships, scholarship, jobs. It's like if you're not on social media, especially when you want to forward your education and forward yourself, your future and your career, it's like, what are you doing, especially if you're on the good side of social media. It also allows you to express yourself in a good way and to build confidence. When you see other people thriving in departments where you find yourself, you start to feel like, yes, I can do this. This person is a source of inspiration for you. So definitely one of the effects, positive effects, and it helps you to get inspired. We're talking school, we're talking fashion, we're talking fitness, we're talking business. If you want to start a business, seeing people online and seeing how they are creating content for their business, it inspires you. If you're trying to lose some weight or eat healthy, you can follow pages that inspire you. If you're trying to change your fashion sense, it's all there on social media. And that's one of the great reasons why we should use social media. But then there is addiction. So in simple layman terms, what exactly are we talking about of social media addiction? First of all, social media addiction is a behavioral addiction. It is an uncontrollable urge to use social media. So when it becomes this uncontrollable urge whereby you can't stop going online, then we can start to think, okay, is this person addicted? So, but let's have a real talk. Are you personally addicted to social media, and how, like, what are the signs? Do you check your social media first thing in the morning? Do you panic when you have no internet? Do you scroll for hours without doing much? Your schoolwork or tasks, are they getting delayed? When you actually ask yourself these questions, you can actually start to understand that what spectrum are you on actually use social media positively, or I am addicted to social media. Let's ask ourselves these questions, especially first thing in the morning. You wake up, you're picking up your phone, you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, and then you spend 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours without accomplishing anything, especially because everyone knows that when you wake up in the morning, that is when you have the burst of energy. Then you spend all that energy on social media. There might be a chance that there's an addiction somewhere. Okay, next slide. Okay, sorry. What is burnout? So burnout is very important. You can actually get burnt out from too much screen time. Do you feel tired even after sleeping? Are you having trouble focusing or even staying present? Do you have headaches, eye strain, even appetite changes, like, oh, you're eating too much or you're not even eating at all? Or does social media feel like a chore? And that's the thing about burnout. Even as social media feels like a chore to you, you still can't stop yourself from doing it. Then you can see that you're already experiencing the negative effects of social media. You feel like you're feeling like anxious, you're having anxiety, but you still find yourself going online and you can't stop scrolling. Then we can start to see that you're experiencing burnout. What are the negative effects of social media? The first one, everyone can actually understand. Social media can become toxic and it can lead to anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. A lot of beautiful people today have actually explained how social media can affect this, and I'm really grateful for their presentations. Yes, especially low self-esteem, we start to compare ourselves to others and we start to feel less confident in ourselves because you're thinking this person has done this and this person has done that. I don't think I would be able to do that. You're starting to experience the low effects, the negative effects of social media, cyberbullying and online hate. The thing about social media is you can either become the bully or you are bullied, especially when you don't use social media the right way. So that is one of the negative effects of social media. Constant comparison with others. This is not going to allow you to see your own potential because you're thinking, oh, this person did this person did that, but I'm still stuck here. I'm not living my life the way I want to live. If I was in this position, I would do this. This is all comparison, distraction, stress, and poor sleep. You are heavily distracted. The time you're supposed to use for productivity, you're using it to be thinking of other people and doing things. And the effect of social media doesn't stop when you stop scrolling. This is because you are feeding yourself with so much information from social media. Of course, when you leave that social media, all that is going to be on your head is what you have watched. So you are literally what you see, what you read. So distraction, stress, and poor sleep is the after effect of using social media too much. Exposure to harmful content. You can experience a lot of mental health issues or even start to become violent just because you're using a lot of social media. So quick self-check time. This is very, very quick. It's just for us to just ask ourselves this question. Do I feel better or worse after using social media? Can I focus without checking my phone? Can you actually focus without checking your phone? Are you comparing yourself to anyone online? Is social media actually affecting your sleep or your goals? Then just quickly check yourself as quickly as possible, and try to see, am I actually addicted to social media? So this is a detox. So before we go into the detox, why actually should we take a break? First of all, it's going to clear your mind. It's going to reduce your stress. And stress is something it goes beyond just, oh, I'm feeling stressed. It affects your mental health, your spiritual health. It affects your focus. It affects how you see yourself. It affects how you relate to people around you. It affects your productivity levels. So just eliminating or just taking out that time to breathe and focus on yourself, you can actually clear your mind, reduce your stress, and increase your alertness. It helps you reconnect with yourself and real life. No matter how glamorous social media is, we all have to accept that it is not real life. It is not real life. Even if you're the one posting these things, you're only posting a snapshot of your whole life. You're only posting a corner of the truth. And that is why we don't compare people to social media. If you know the behind the scenes, things, you will understand why it is ridiculous. It helps you connect yourself with real life. It improves your focus and productivity. It is very important that we are productive. We are all medical, either we are all students, whether medical or not. We are all like in the medical field, we have our careers. This is one of the reasons why it is good to be productive. We have our lives ahead of us. We have to be productive. We have to focus on what is important. And too much social media can blur that line between what is real and what is not real. Of course, it boosts your mental clarity and your self-worth. 5 ways we can detox from social media. I'm going to keep it very quick and simple so that this is what we can take home from here and we can actually start doing as soon as possible. Set screen time limits. What does this mean? When you're going on social media, when you're actually using your phone, limit it. There are apps like Stoic and even Study Bunnies that we can actually download, especially on Apple. Even on Apple, you can put your phone on work mode. Work mode allows you to set your screen time in such a way that you know what the apps that you can put on your home screen. This allows you to remove apps like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat from your home screen so you're not seeing them. The next is going to be turn off notifications. No matter how you think, oh, social media notifications are important, no, they are not as important as having a good focused phone. One thing is there was a study that was done and it showed that it takes about 13 to 15 minutes of 13 to 15 minutes before you can go back to being focused after you have been distracted. And the major sort of distraction is just the thing of your phone. Just hearing that notification bell of your phone distracts you, and then it's taking another 15 minutes before you go back to what you were doing. So you can imagine how important it is to turn off your notifications. Plan offline activities. I can't stress this enough. Singing, eating, dancing, going out with friends, so many other things you can do. Reading books. Stay away from social media for long periods of time. Use your do not disturb and take a full weekend off social media. You should do this regularly, every 2 months, every month, just a full weekend, no social media. Long-term periods of not using social media allows you to understand what is important and brings you back to focus. The last thing is building healthy screen habits. Yes, social media detox is staying away from social media. But like I said in the beginning, we cannot absolutely stay away from social media. We actually still need to be on it so that we can have connections, so that we can meet people, so that we can progress. It's also a way of being productive. But when you're on the app, how do you have good screen habits? The first is to set daily screen goals. You know the type of work you're doing. You know the amount of time you need on social media to be productive. So set those goals, and then after those times, you leave. So if it's like 15 minutes every day, I'm using no longer than 15 minutes, and that's it. If it's 30 minutes, you're using your 30 minutes, and that's it. Then create phone-free zones, especially bedtime, 1 hour before bedtime. In fact, there's a rule. 1 hour before bedtime, no social media. 1 hour after you wake up, no social media. Why is that? There is something called the blue light that is actually coming from your phones. And when you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone, the first thing you're filling your face, your brain with that blue light. It affects your alertness, it affects your circadian rhythm and your melatonin levels. It increases your cortisol levels. So you can imagine doing all of these things first thing in the morning. You're already setting yourself for a downward spiral throughout the day. So this is one of the reasons why before bedtime and in when you wake up, don't use your phone at all. Yes, some people will say, oh, I have a daily planner and I need to check it on my phone. Get yourself a hard copy of your daily planner. They sell it online. You can even print it out. Go online, print this daily planner out, write it, your daily planner. So when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you're seeing is your daily planner. You can focus on your day, you can pray, you can meditate, you can eat breakfast before you pick up your phone. The last two would be follow accounts that uplift you and educate you, like TeenHeal. Please follow TeenHeal on our social media platforms. We post things that educate and uplift you, and use social media with intention. Are you thinking of writing? Use social media to write. Are you thinking of drawing? Use social media to showcase your art. Are you thinking of starting a business? Use social media to do all of this rather than using it to just scroll and scroll. Become a creator rather than a consumer. So thank you very much. Always remember, it is your social medias, your rule. Always be mindful of your notification, how social media affects your mental health and your screen time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shola, and I do want to recognize, your contribution as well. You've been a core part of this team. You've been helping drive this forward as well. So appreciate your contribution about a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Pawan. I'm really appreciative of
Thank you.
your acceptance of me and my work. Thank you so much.
Thank
Am
you,
I still sharing
Shola.
my screen? I'm not
Sure. Thank you,
Okay.
Shola. That
Let
was
me
an
stop.
amazing presentation and a very, very inspiring and eye-opening talk. And I also love your slides. They're always very vibrant and very cheerful. So, as she mentioned, please follow us on Instagram and you'll see more of these vibrant slides there made by Shola. So, thank you so much. So, our next speaker is
You're welcome.
Dr.
Thank you.
Purnima. She is a medical graduate and have completed MBBS from India and is currently working as a medical officer. And she will be talking about her survey analysis and from India and how social media has affected and different aspects of social media addiction in India. So Purnima, please go ahead and you can start your presentation. Thank you.
Yes, Aru, thank you. So good afternoon and good evening from India. Just a second, I'll share the screen.
Yeah, can you be a little louder? It's
Okay. Okay. Is everyone able to see this? Hello?
Yes, we can see this.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Purnima KV, MBBS graduate. I'll be presenting the results of our social media analysis. I'll walk you through the key insights we gathered, explain the graphs and charts, and highlight the important trends that we noticed among the teenagers from India. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Let's get started. So we all know that social media has become an integral part of teenagers' lives, shaping how they communicate, express themselves, and perceive the world around them. So this analysis aims to explore the impact of social media on teen health, with a specific focus on survey data collected from India. From teenagers in India by exploring usage patterns, content trends, and emotional responses. So this is the survey background. Totally, we've got around 82 responses. We've targeted age group from 15 to 25 years old. The location, it was distributed across various states in India, and we've used the Google Forms. And the questions we had were multiple choice questions and rating scale from 1 to 5. The topics that we covered are social media usage, emotional impact, and habits. Purpose of the survey was to explore how social media affects teens' daily life and mental health. So let's look at each question and how results are represented in graph. So first question we had was, what country and city do you live in? So as everyone know that I'm representing India, it's no wonder that it's from India. So almost all the responses that we got were from Kerala state. So here you can see on x-axis, it's the state and the city, and the y-axis are the responses. So almost all responses were from Kerala state, and 50% were from Ernakulam city, and 45% from Kottayam city, and 5% were from Chennai, Mangalore, which will come under Tamil Nadu and Karnataka state. So the three tall graphs you see here from the Kerala state, which is one of the 28 states in India. So here next we have is, what is your age in years? So the dominant age group here, the tall graph, what you see here is 21 years. It's almost like 1/4 of the total sample collected were from 21 years of age. And it also indicates that there's a strong concentration of individuals in early 20s. And the other age groups were 20 years, 17 years, and 18 to 19 years. 18 to 19 years were only 9 responses we've got, that is contributing to around 11%. And less common ages were from 22 to 27 years old, and 27 being just one response, that is 1 to 2%. So what we can conclude here is that the age distribution is heavily inclining towards younger individuals, especially towards those aged from 17 to 21. Studying social media addiction from this age group is so relevant because these are the ones they are active on digital platform and maybe more vulnerable to its effect as well. And next, what is your gender? So this is the pie chart which shows the gender analysis. So here we can see slight female majority outnumbering male by 10%. So it's like the gender distribution is so balanced and the data is not just skewed or inclined towards one gender, favoring just one gender, which ensures a fair representation. And next year we have how much time during the day do you spend on social media on your phone? It's like more than 3 hours per day. We have like 46% of respondents, that is almost 38 people from 82 spends more than 3 hours per day. And 2 to 3 hours per day is 36%. About 30 people fall into this range. It means that it means that this group is quite significant, suggesting social media is still a regular part of their daily routine. And 17% spend 1 to 2 hours per day. Seems like these users have more mindful usage habits. Key insight is that majority, almost 80 to 80% of respondents spend more than 2 hours per day on social media. It's like suggesting high level of digital engagement. This could affect their attention span, productivity and mental well-being on a long run. And the next question was, which social media platform do you use the most? So top platforms were, as usual, almost it's Instagram and WhatsApp. These are the tied as the most used platforms, each selected by 63, almost making it as 76.8%. This suggests that visual content and messaging apps dominate users' social media habits. And next coming up is Snapchat and TikTok. Snapchat is still the quite popular one, followed by TikTok. Least used platforms are Facebook's. Just 4 responses we got, making it up to 5%. And streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney, Hotstar, JioCinema, we've just got 1.2% each. So it's just that Instagram and WhatsApp clearly dominates, which compared to the traditional platform like Facebook. And Snapchat and TikTok still remains the popularity, in sharing short videos and casual communication spaces. And next question was, on scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall social media usage? So majority feel their usage to be moderate to high, that is from 3 to 5. So 3 out of 5 was most common rating. This was selected by almost 35 people, indicating that many feel their usage to be average. And 4 on 5 was chosen by 24 respondents, that is almost 30%, suggesting high usage pattern. And 5 on 5 or very high usage was marked by 13 people. And low usage is very rare. Only 2 people, as you can see here in the second one, only 2 people choose as 1 on 5, and 8 responses we've got, making it 10% who choose 2 out of 5. Well, still, most users, like almost 70%, see their social media as moderate to high, and very few people consider very few people consider it to be on the higher end, which aligns with the earlier data I was talking about, where more than 2 hours daily the students use, like making up to 80%. Next is, on scale of 1 to 5, how much of your social media use is influenced by your friends or classmates? Here, the rating on scale was of 1, which is not influenced at all, to 5, where it is heavily influenced. The highest number of people, that is almost 25 responses, making it to 30%, rated their influence as 2, suggesting low, but still the peer influence is still present among them. And then 24% choose 3, indicating moderate influence. Some feel strongly influenced, like almost 17 to 18% rated their influence as 5, which is very high. And then another 12 responses, that is 15%, rated it as 4, which is also fairly high. And just 13%, almost 11 people rated it as 1, meaning their social media use is not influenced at all by friends and classmates. While here we can see that good number of respondents believe the social media habits are shaped by peer influence, but majority, that is almost like 55%, who rate 1 and 2, imply that most users feel independent in their choices. And next is, on scale of 1 to 5, how much time do you spend thinking about social media or planning how to use it? So here, scale 1 is rarely think about it, and 5 is think about it a lot. So almost 28% rated 2 and 25% rated 1, meaning over half of the students, half of the teenagers who answered these questions think that planning around the social media usage is more. And also 19.5%, like 6 responses, choose third option, suggesting balanced. They're like neutral, occasional focus. They're not strategic. They're like, okay, they're like focusing as well as they're strategical on their social media planning. And then 15 people selected 5, indicating they frequently think about how to plan about social media usage. So it's just that results show that majority, over 50% response, don't put much on thinking about how to use the social media, but still smaller group is highly intentional about how to go about it. And next, on scale of 1 to 5, how strong of an urge do you feel to use social media more and more? So here, while with 1 being the weakest urge and 5 being the strongest, we have 4 people, that is 4.9%, feel very low urge, and 17 people, that is 20%, feel little urge, and then moderate urge is 26. Here, this is the third one. This is the most highest rankings that we've got. And then very high urge, we got it from 21 people. It's just that most common responses was 3, that meaning people will still feel noticeable. But overall data hints that there is significant tendency towards increasing social media engagement among the participants. Combining 4 and 5 suggests that almost half of them experience the strong urge to increase the social media usage. And next, on scale 1 to 5, how often do you use social media to forget about personal problems? So highest portion respondents were 26%, making to 22 people selected 5, showing that they are very often, use social media to forget their personal problems. And then 23% rated it as 4, meaning nearly half of all the respondents frequently use social media to forget their personal problems. And then 20%, that is 17 respondents, choose 3, indicating neutral or occasional coping use. And lower emotional usage is 16 people, choose 2, and only 8 responses we've got who selected 1, showing minority, and they don't depend on social media for their personal use. But still, there is a significant number of students who use social media as coping mechanism, with nearly 3 in 4 respondents using it at least sometimes. This points to the emotional role that social media platforms play a very important role in their daily life behind just entertainment and communication. And then on scale of 1 to 5, have you been successful in cutting down the use of social media? Here, 34 people, there is almost 40% rated 2, indicating very low success. And then 20 people rating it 3, which is moderate success. And 8 people rated as 1, which is not successful at all. And 4 people, that is 5%, rated it as 5, which is very successful. So here 66% rated between 1 and 3, they still face struggle in cutting down the social media addiction, and 25% rated it as 4 or 5, meaning they have been very successful in cutting down the social media addiction. Next, on scale of 1 to 5, how restless or troubled do you become if you prohibited from using social media? So 27 people, that's almost 32.9%, selected 2. They feel slightly troubled, and 19 people choose 3, which is moderate distress. 16 people choose 4, which is fairly troubled, and 12 people choose 1, which is not troubled at all. And 8 people, that is 10%, choose 5, very troubled. So it's just at 56% rated 2 and 3. They're experiencing some degree of discomfort, but not extreme distress. And then 4 and 5 showing possible signs of dependency or reliance on social media, and only 14.6% feel unaffected without it. And next, and I also wanted to say that majority of them selected 3 to 5, suggested respondents believe social media has had moderate to strong negative effect on academic performances. It shows that issue is not isolated but systemic among this group. And most common rating we had was 3 here. Means that many students experience it as a manageable or moderate problem rather than just overwhelming one. They recognize it as a disruptive power, but somehow they still, they're capable of mitigating its effects. And 24% who selected 5 points, they have deep-rooted challenges, not just casual destruction. They don't just see it as a casual destruction, but possibly an addiction, procrastination, or, emotional dependency. So the conclusion is that teens not only spend large portion of their day on social media, but also think about it as they also think about it frequently, feel strong urge to use it more, and use it as a coping mechanism for personal issues. And also popular platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat dominate, while older platform like Facebook lost their relevance. But still, from the survey analysis what we've gathered, they show the signs of potential overuse and dependency, with many teens acknowledging both high usage and emotional reliance on social media. And also potentially it's going to impact on mental health, reduced skills, face-to-face interaction, and real world coping skills. So my final key point is that social media is no longer just a tool for the teens. It's a major environment where they socialize, cope, and even define aspects of their identity. Without mindful usage practice, there could be a strong reliance that would lead to emotional and psychological challenges over time. Thank you, everyone. I thank TeenHeal for the opportunity, and I'm grateful to be part of this journey.
Yeah, thank you. Apu. This was great, excellent presentation. And, it was interesting to see some of the difference between India and UAE. So very well done. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Purnima, for that was a great presentation. And I would also like to thank you for your contribution to this global webinar and to make it happen and to arrange all the students. And because you were a speaker coordination leader in the team. So thank you for your contribution and your time. So before we go to the next speaker, Arunika is here, and I would like to acknowledge her great contribution for this global webinar and our team. She is a medical graduate from India, currently in Dubai. Have completed several rotations and electives in the US. And the great thing is she recently matched into pediatrics and is going to be a future pediatrician in the US. And she was the head of our promotion team and has actively contributed for promoting and making reels and teaming up with Shola and other people for our Insta post, and has been a very active member.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's people like Arunika and Arundhati, you and Shola, among others, who will keep the torch lit and take it forward as you go into your residency. So I'm very excited for all of you, and hopefully we can do much greater thing with data going forward. So yes, thank you, Arunika, for your all the contributions.
Yes, no, before I say anything, I actually would love to thank the entire TeenHeal platform, Mr. Pawan sir, the entire USMD Sarthi team, which has helped me reach my residency, first of all. And second of all, I would love to thank Shola, Arundhati, Purnima, and all of the speakers who were present today. You guys have made wonderful efforts, and I really hope that this webinar can make a small change or small difference in in children's life and adults as well. I've always wanted to make a difference in a child's life, and I'm so grateful to be part of this webinar and part of this wonderful and supportive team. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so now we move on to our next speaker, Priyanka, and she will be talking about social comparison and self-esteem issues within social media addiction. She is from India as well and is also currently pursuing her master's in business administration from Cambridge University in Bangalore, India. So Priyanka, you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Priyanka from India. So I would be talking about the topic of social comparison and self-esteem issues. So basically, in today's digital age, social media has become a central part of daily life, especially among young people. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat encouraging users to share carefully curated moments of their lives, often highlighting achievements like beauty, material status, and the success and everything. While these networks can offer connection and inspiration, they also create environment where users frequently compare themselves to others. Like this constant exposure to idealized images can negatively impact self-esteem, leading to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression. So, understanding the relationship between social media comparison and self esteem issues is crucial in addressing the broader effects of technology on mental health. So this was the introduction, and I would like to go to the main part now. So as Theodore Roosevelt stated that comparison is the thief of joy, it's actually a main thing, because while comparing to one another, we ourselves lose ourselves, and while thinking others they are perfect and they are so beautiful, we lose ourselves, and while when we stop loving ourselves too. So comparison is natural but too risky when it is taken to the high level, and upward comparison is very risky because you are comparing yourself to the better off of the world and you wanted to become like one of the better person. But if you go in a right way you would achieve it, but when you go in a wrong way you get into some troubles and everything, so it's actually risky. And you will have to maintain it between neutral, and it may steal more than a joy. As Roosevelt stated that normal comparison can always make us unhappy and feel less about ourselves, that we are not good enough for anyone, nobody is accepting us for ourselves, like that thoughts will be coming in our minds. And then, as I told before, upward comparison can always lower our self-esteem or self-worth. We would never be enough with ourselves. We won't be successful, or these thoughts will always come in our mind. And then behavioral impact also. It will make us to seek validation from everyone. Each and every person we will be wanting to seek validation. Like they should accept us, they should like us. So what can I do to make them like me? So it's basically you're not living your life for yourself, you're living your life for others, and you're wanting their validation to live your life. So the definition is like, long ago Festinger, like Leon Festinger in 1954, as he stated that people compare themselves to others to access their own standing, like their own standing in the sense, where am I standing? Am I better than the other person, or am I worse than the other person? So this is in their mind. That is basically upward and downward comparison, we tell in the local terms. So, and then I would like to give my own example over here, like Instagram and body image. 2 to 3 years ago, maybe I was studying BCom. At that time, my mind was very young and very immature and very young, where I was into the Instagram, seeing other people's posting their beautiful pictures, going to vacations and posting the pictures over there, Goa, Uti, everything. I would like to feel myself like, why am I not able to go to these places where they are going? Why am I not beautiful like them? Why don't I have beautiful hair or beautiful skin like how they are having? So these common thoughts and intrusive thoughts came to my mind without my knowledge. Unintentionally I was thinking about it. I never wanted to come make myself down to those people, but unintentionally it was happening. It's an platform, or Instagram is very bad. I mean, according to my experience, it's bad because it's negatively impacting people, and youths like or younger generation or teenagers are taking it very seriously, and they are doing many vulgar things which cannot be talked over here. But it impacts negatively so much. And this is types of social media comparison, which is upward, downward, and lateral. As I said before, upward comparison is comparing yourself to the better person or richest person in the world, and you are craving yourself to become that person. And this, when impacted positively, you will take it into the heart and put efforts, 100% efforts, and then you will achieve the goal. And downward comparison is opposite to upward, as you're comparing yourself to the worst of worst. In the sense, people who are less than you're comparing yourself to them, and this will lead to arrogance and jealousy. Not jealous, but arrogant. You'll get an arrogant behavior which will make you feel you're superior and the other person is always less, and this will have a negative impact on your thoughts later. And then another one is lateral or horizontal, which is comparing yourself with your peer members. The sense you and your members or your friends go to the same company and work together, and one of your members are having more recognition in the company, and you compare to themselves, what am I lacking down here? Why is the other person getting more recognition? Why am I not getting? So this is like comparing yourself with your own peer members. And this is like you're having positive and negative impacts. Like everything in the world will have positive and negative. So this also is having comparison is also having positive and negatives. Whereas positively taken, this comparison may lead to growth in your character and growth in your lifestyle, and you can live your life to the fullest when taken positively. Whereas negatively, if you're taken, you will have a more arrogant, and it encourages to competition and comparison, and it can trigger anxiety, depression, because you won't be enough. You're never enough. Actually, your cup is never filled. You're always wanting something else. You're wanting another person's glamour, another person's beauty. You're craving for something, so you're never completely filled. And then negative impacts are more rather than positive. So we have to think before comparing ourselves to other. And this are the strategies to come up social comparison. Like you wanted to come out of that loop, is that you have to be self-aware, identify what you want and what you're comparing. If it is good or bad, you have to first identify the need of comparison. If you're comparing yourself with the other person, you have to know, what is it? Am I comparing my wealth or health or beauty? If that three are not there, and what else you're comparing? Your lifestyle, because lifestyles differ from every person. You can't be Ambani or you can't be Donald Trump. No, your people lifestyles changes. You can't compare those things. So you have to be self-aware, and then you have to focus on your own growth. Like, everybody takes their own time to grow. Like, it doesn't mean that over time you be publicity, or overnight you will get your fame or growth. It takes some time. Gradually, you will also be the most beautiful woman in your class, or most beautiful person in the family, most talented student in the class. So it takes a time to grow. And then you have to practice gratitude. Focus on what you have, not rather than focusing on what you are losing. Instead, enhance what you have. If you're having good health, protect it. Others may not have good health. So protect the health and focus on your growth. Practice self comparison to like, you have to compare yourself. You have to be better than yourself. Like, if you're done something wrong today, the tomorrow you should think that I will not do this wrong tomorrow. I will control my anger. If you have anger issues, you have to tell yourself, or you have to compare in yourself, that tomorrow I will not be angry. I will stop being angry to other person. And the images which you're seeing now is the comparison of people with social media addiction and without social media addiction. As you can see, the facial features itself tells you so much that the person is so into the mobile, or dwelled into the Instagram, or constantly comparing. This thing of comparison is, you will not wantedly do it. It's an unintentional thing which runs in your mind. It's also a subconscious thing. Like, you will naturally want to compare, because it's very difficult to not compare other persons, because these days in Instagram or WhatsApp or Facebook, anything, everybody are showcasing their happy vacation photos, wedding photos, jewelries, where most famous wedding, like Ambani's wedding, only we can take. The jewelry is what they wore. Many people would have compared. See, they have so much diamonds. I don't have any diamonds. They have at least emeralds. I don't even have those. Like, this unintentional comparison is very much happening. On the other side, without social media, a group of people are enjoying, and students or children's youth generations are driving cycles and playing hobbies, their own what they like they are doing, and living to their fullest. So this is the important, right? You have to live for yourself, not for others. You cannot make everybody happy. At least you can make yourself happy by doing what you like every time, right? And this again is my own experience, because when I was young, and I have also passed those phases and came here. And in my BCom, I guess, my group of friends, they're always commenting and telling to me that, why don't you put some Instagram post? You just have account for scrolling Instagram. Why don't you put photos of your own? Why don't you go outside and take photos, like in like any big buildings like Dubai or Goa? Why don't you go there and take pictures and upload in Instagram? You will get more likes, more comments, and more followers. And one of my friend actually, she scolded me because I didn't like her post, it seems. And she has put so much of efforts into it and editing herself in the photo. She was not, you see the difference. She's not liking herself. She wanted to edit her own photo because she doesn't like how she seems, how she looks. she wants to edit, and she has put so much of effort in editing her own photo, and she wants likes and comments on that photo which she edited. And these quotes are like, so many friends of mine were telling to me, like they often compare themselves to the influencers online. This is very basic, and this is very common in India, because they compare themselves to the heroines or influencers who come on the Instagram. They would like to want that type of body what they are having, want that type of beauty or hair or grocery, I mean, makeup things, some things like that. And this is the case study which was conducted by the Royal Society for Public Health in United Kingdom. They have taken some samples of people aged 14 to 18, and exploring how social media affects their self-esteem, like comparing body image and mental health. And what they found was that social comparison and body shaming were, I mean, body comparing was more, and which this constant comparison led to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and dissatisfaction with their own bodies. At the end of the day, they wouldn't like themselves. They wanted to become someone who is not them, and they were craving for something which is not them. And social comparison theory in action, the study confirmed Festinger social comparison, showing that teenagers frequently engage in upward social comparison, comparing themselves to others they perceive as more attractive, successful, or accomplished. And the key statistics were 70% of the teenagers reported that they felt pressure to look perfect on social media. This was what I was trying to tell you, because of my friends, they were also like pressurized to look beautiful, to comment you're so hot or you're so nice. And that need, they wanted validation from outsiders. They were not satisfied with what they have. And 80% of them said that they felt insecure about their bodies after looking at photos on Instagram. Teens who spent over 2 hours a day on Instagram were more likely to report Instagram was likely to increase their anxiety and depression related to their appearance. And conclusion is that this case study tells how people in how unrealistic standards of beauty or vacation photos or unrealistic mindset is pushed into the youngster minds, and they are forced to stay in the way that the society accepts them. Like, you need to be so beautiful. The standard is being set actually. Like, you can't be, you have your facial features like Korean, they have the clear skin, or this eyebrow must be this much, or eyes are this much, and like that the unrealistic mindset has been set in the youngster or women or men. These days men are actually comparing themselves to the six packs of boys or heroes they are having on the movies, seeing on the movies. And the final taking away was that don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Thank you. I would end now presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I much appreciate. This was great presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. That was a great presentation, and you made a lot of valid points.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So we move on to our next speaker now, and her name is Mrs. Vanita Jadhav, and she is our school teacher, and she has more than 30 years of experience teaching students, and I'm sure she has made a great deal of difference in thousands of students' life and their parents' life. And she continues to spread her goodwill across the community here in Birmingham, Alabama as well, and is one of the most loved and popular people here. For her educational achievements, she has masters in 3 different subjects, with a special graduation and certification in special education, and is currently working in a Title I school. And she's going to share her personal experiences with students, and from a teacher's perspective, and how social media has continued effect on the students. So welcome, Vanita, and we are glad to have you, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Aru. Thank you so much, Arundhati, but she's Aru for me. Can you hear me, Aru?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Pawan sir, for adding me and a part of this conference. I'm feeling very grateful to add and share my information. First thing is, Nafi, Rehan, Shivani, Rehan, those are college or I think high school students, right? Yeah. I loved listening and, enjoyed their talk because they are very close to my profession. So, and you all are definitely professionals, and your observation, your data entry and surveys are absolutely, all those are amazing. But here, when it just comes for students, I'm in the classroom, and from last 30 years I'm teaching, and my experience goes from none to extreme level. This interaction and observation with social media, from 0 to more than 100%. Why? How this has happened? Who's responsible? I heard from all other speakers, but here is what is good, what is bad, what is a medical issues, yes, definitely all these are available to help our teenagers and students. But here is, today I'm speaking from student point of view and teacher point of view. Okay, being a teacher, I can just do that role perfectly. So here is where we are going wrong. Yes, these are good things, these are bad things, or these are the advantages. This is a data showing these many percent is, but where we are going wrong is that this data is going to help our teenagers. Is that these advantages, if I post it on my board and I'd say, hey kids, these are the things you're going to be suffering with, this, is that going to help my student to understand? If they are capable to understand all these points, they would not get addicted with the social media. But at this point, we are at this position or at this point where we see more than 100% teenagers. It's not only teenagers, from elementary to high school or 20 plus, kids are addicted. They are suffering. They're suffering physical, mental health, and all other perspective. So where we are going wrong and what are the things we can take care and move forward? That's what I want to focus today. My experience while working in the classroom, I want to give you practical evidence or example what we notice and how we treat and how we come forward, with the plans. There was a couple, I don't know who said, like, there should be awareness in the classroom, awareness at school, and awareness with this. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I forgot who said that. Yes, this is all important, but how far in the classroom the teachers have a freedom to answer these questions or to deal with the social media and to say or to train our kids, this is wrong, this is correct. It's a big deal. So number one, let me tell you what are right now practically what's going on at school. You will see from age like an elementary kid, a 5-year-old, first grade level student also bringing iPhone 16, iPhone 15 to school. Who's responsible? Parent. Is that student know? That 5-year-old know what is the iPhone 16? So here to start with the parenting. Structured, unstructured environment at home. How much you're giving exposure. Number two, when kids walking in the building, they are carrying, bringing their interaction, communication, chatting, or whatever the text, whatever they're doing outside the building, they are bringing inside the building. Number three, when they bring it inside the building, are they totally ready to learn? They're not. More than 70% of their mind is engaged in that social media. What happened last night? Why he said, what she said. Oh, that girlfriend, boyfriend. These are the things happening, and they're coming with that mindset. to divert our kids' brain towards education. It's take a longer time for teacher to motivate students, those who are not ready, because education is not entertainment. It's not an entertaining factor. You need a self-respect, maturity, their self-esteem to get in and start your education. Oh, I'm here in this seat and I'm ready to learn what Ms. J is teaching today. But back of my brain here, the social media is hurting 80%. Oh, she did this, he did this. I'm hiding my phone in my pocket and texting back and forth. How far teacher walk in close to them and say, hey, give it to me, or cell phones are not allowed in the classroom. It's a tough in the classroom to see how social media is not only addiction, but they are taking life of youngsters. I love the one, I think our first speaker said, the percent of from 12% to, no, I think the second or third speaker said from 12% to 8%, the attention span. Yes, we see very short attention span. I'm standing there and I'm teaching, and my student, from 30, I will see hardly 4 or 5 people are grasping what I'm teaching. And 28% or 25 students are nodding, or they're mentally they are somewhere else. So within 40 minutes, my challenge is to make students to understand what I'm teaching, let them work independently, and show the mastery in that content. It is possible for us to do that? No, it's not. With other people, with all, like doctors and other people, we are also suffering with this. And we are on the front line with the students, with teenagers. We are at the front line dealing this on daily basis. Couple of examples I would like to share. These are not just example from the data and book. This is what we notice, we struggle, and we are suffering. The first one is screen time. I asked one of my students, just for one small example, show me your screen time. I want to see how long you were on your cell phone. And it was 11 hours. If my students staying on a social media for 11 hours, 8 hours at school, 11 plus 8, 19 hours, 2 hours with the family or eating and cleaning, doing chores. So he's getting only 4 hours sleep. And from 4 hours, probably he was tossing, or he tossed every day back and forth to get sleep. So lack of sleep, that someone already said. And this is a practical, this is happening. Where we are going wrong? Who's responsible for this? Does 13-year-old know what is correct, what is wrong? Where the culture is taking our youngsters. And they are going to be handling our country, our citizens. They are going to be dealing with all communities. The next one is, I will show you this, the social media, how much is addicted, the phone policy. These kids, they are taking their phone to the restroom. They're climbing on the bathroom staircase and just taking a picture of one another. So some students are afraid to use stalls in a restroom because of taking these videos and posting these pictures on the social media. And this is practically happened every year. More than 30 to 40 students we suspend every year because of this social media. And this is practically, I'm not making stories. This is happening everywhere. Not in a one school system, in a different school systems. Now, who is responsible? Yes, we say on the paper, these are the good, these are the bad things. But how far parents are involved in that? I took an interview for a couple of students. I apologize. I really didn't get a chance to make it this more perfect with the slides or reaching to my school system in a stronger way. I hope next year if Mr. Pavan Kumar, Kara sir is going to continue this one next year also, I promise you, I'll bring more information, a lot of students, a lot of educators in this, and then you will get a more input from different school system. I apologize. This time I could not get that much time to work on this. So next one is about, I heard, like, my counselor told me yesterday, one of a student took her picture with the AI help, posted her naked picture on social media. And that student got suspended. Now that student moved to a different school system. That's called a punishment for behavior. And he's going to miss 1 whole month education. Where the social media taking our youngsters? I asked a group of students, tell me about, is social media use a friend or enemy? So here is my couple of students, the group of students said, not everyone is mature or know how to handle social media, especially teenagers. It's a lot of parents' involvement is important. If when your kid gets on a phone, what he or she is watching, what are the time limitation? Because before 18, you are a doctor, you know that their brain is totally mature or not to handle what is correct or wrong. No, they're not. They think they are capable. No, they are not capable. Practically, they are not. As a parent, it's our responsibility to involve and control. I'm not going to say what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, these are the percentage. I'm not going to say today. I'm going to speak with my experience, what I notice in the classroom and what we are looking forward. The next one, I will just say frustration level. Peer pressure. A lot of peer pressure. I want to look at cool. How I'm going to look at cool? If I vape in the bathroom and post my picture on a social media. I'm dancing, doing something wrong. I'm get more likes. My video go more viral. And I will be cool. This is the one part, what we are suffering with at school run every other day. Parents, when parents drop and pick up students, some of these students are bringing drugs and vapes from home. And it is very hard for us to say, when my son is sitting in the back and I smell marijuana, I know there is something wrong. I'm going to pull my car, going to do check and go with what is right or wrong with him and put some restrictions. But no. So where we are going wrong, I believe my more focus on like the structure, what you are receiving from home. Now, again, one more data or one more, my observation says that here at school, those who are making A's and B's grade, why they are not so much involved in social media, how they control themselves. Number one, their parents are much involved. What my son or daughter is watching, what they are doing. Number two, how much time, screen time, and not only screen time, but who are the people he's interacted or she's interacting. After 10 o'clock, your phone should be on my table. Your grades, I'm looking at your grades. So some student, for what I'll tell you, some of these students, they're using AI and other social media to answer the questions and making their A's and B's grades. So overall, when we look at the data, I'm not going to blame, or I'm not going to say teenagers are making wrong choice. Teenagers are making this. This needs to be correct. This needs to be. I will say that parents, buckle up. You are the one. You're going to shape your teenagers or your children. You decide how you're going, in what content or how you're going to shape your children. Is a very important. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going all different areas, but as I said, like I did not get a time to do all this. And thank you for Purnima and, others, those who are students, what are the advantage, what are the disadvantages with the self media. I don't want to go over that because it's already covered, but I would just want to go over certain things. Parents needs to teach these teenagers how to turn off or how to unfollow this social media. You have to build that courage. You have to build that knowledge. Is a very, very important. I asked my son, or probably Mr. Pawan Khera also know his daughter very well. We can tell why our kids are capable to turn on and off because we are a biggest part of their education or social media too. We are watching them, what they're doing. We build that confidence and we educated them like these are the things wrong, these are the things correct, and whenever they are making all those wrong decisions in social media, we are there to knock all the time. So it is very, very important. So last but not least, I just want that all these youngsters or all parents, all this and fill up like all doctors, those who are now currently in a final MBBS year and all this, please, when you are meeting with your friends, with your family members, please spread this awareness that you are the first one. As a mom, as a dad, as a siblings, as an elder college person or student, college student, please interact with the teenagers. Please, it's not like I'm police. No, it is not. I'm as a friend and I'm going to guide you. And this is wrong and this is correct. It's a very, very important to do this. Thank you so much, people. Thank you so much, everyone. And anytime you need more data or more this one, and next year, I promise, if you guys are doing, I'm going to bring it pretty good information more. Thank you.
No, this was excellent, Ms. Yadav. This was great. Not only next year, we will continue this in some form of another. The complete program on social media addiction is the plan. So absolutely, we'll continue. And thank you for being part of it. I think you bring a lot of value, and we'll definitely seek your guidance in coming days. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aru.
Thank you so much, Vanita. And this was a great wealth of information from practical what is happening in schools. Yes. All right. So we have our next speaker, Gerald. Gerald, are you here? And he will be speaking on the effects of social media addiction on mental health. He is a first-year medical student from Uganda in Africa, and we will now hear his perspective. Gerald, please start your presentation.
Hello, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. I am Gerard Uluit, and I am a medical student from Uganda in the eastern part of Africa. And
Gerald,
I'll be discussing it.
can you be a little louder?
All right, so I'm saying I am Gerard Uluit, and I am a medical student from Uganda. And today I'll be discussing a topic that is increasingly becoming very important in our digital world, and that is the effects of social media on the mental health among teenagers. So, hello? All right.
Yes,
so
we can hear you.
Briefly about the introduction. So teenage mental health is under very serious strains. We have anxiety, depression, and emotional instability, which are becoming very common more than ever before. And at the same time, we have over 95% of teenagers using social media on a daily for very many hours. And this has brought about a very critical question, which is how is social media affecting the mental health of our youth? And if we go to the next slide, I'm going to start by talking about increased anxiety and depression. So one of the most documented effects of social media is its role in increasing anxiety and depression. Teenagers, often get to compare their real lives with the reels that they see online. And this leads to constant dissatisfaction. And then you've got fear of missing out, which creates a sense of pressure to always be online and get involved. And according to a 2019 study that was published in JAMA, we find that teens who spend more than 3 hours every single day on social media are significantly at a very high risk of developing mental health problems, including anxiety and depression. And then you've got low self-esteem and body image issues. So, apps like Instagram and TikTok often present a filtered and edited versions of reality. And this creates an unattainable beauty standards that, teenagers begin to internalize. And the number of likes and comments start to feel like a validation or a rejection. So if someone gets more likes, they feel like they're being validated. And if they don't get more likes, they feel like they're being rejected. And research from American Psychological Association shows that frequent use of Instagram is associated with dissatisfaction and low body self-esteem among teenagers, especially girls in high school. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about cyberbullying and online harassment. So unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying follows teens everywhere. So as long as you get involved in online things, you're on these Instagram apps, on TikTok, somehow you're going to find cyberbullying, and it doesn't stop just at school. And a report from UNICEF found that 1 in every 3 teenagers has experienced cyberbullying. And online anonymity even makes the bullies more vicious. When you don't know who is cyberbullying you, it even becomes more serious. And victims may suffer long-term consequences like anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorders, and sometimes even suicide, because of this cyberbullying. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about physical isolation despite being connected. So much as these teens usually get to be connected online, but they miss the physical attachment, because every time these teenagers are on their phones, on their computers, on their devices, and then they don't spend quality time physically with their parents, with their families, with their friends. And this is, becoming very common, especially with the increase of teens using social media. And this is affecting real life relationships and leading to increased incidences of feeling loneliness and isolation. And it is sometimes called the alone together paradox, And then I'm going to go ahead and talk about my next point, which is sleep disruption. So, we all know that sleep is very crucial for a young brain that is just growing. And yet social media is interfering with sleep in very many ways. Blue light, which is emitted from screen, suppresses melatonin, which is a hormone that regulates the sleep and wake cycle. And, notifications and late night scrolling delay bedtime and eventually reduces the sleep quality. And sleep deprivation can sometimes worsen mood disorders, attention issues, and overall it can bring about stress among these teenagers who are using social media for very many hours. And my next point is going to be about addiction and compulsive behavior. So social media platforms are carefully designed to keep users hooked in, using features like infinite scrolling, autoplay, and push notifications. You've seen this with apps like TikTok. When you finish watching one video, you just scroll to the next. So this tends to create some bit of addiction among people who are using these apps. And this can trigger dopamine release, creating a reward-seeking loop. As a result, teens may become compulsive users of these social media apps and checking their phones constantly and losing focus in school, losing focus among the family, and even on their hobbies, and things that they're supposed to be focusing on even more. I'm going to go ahead and talk about emotional desensitization. So another concerning effect of social media on mental health is emotional desensitization, because social media usually exposes these teenagers to constant stream of content, some of which are very violent, tragic, and emotionally heavy at times. And when these teenagers come across this content on a daily, they become numb to it, and this can reduce things like empathy and make them become less responsive to other people's feelings, and even lead to their emotional burnout when they get exposed to this sometimes very violent content online. And that leads me to this snapshot of mental health statistics. So from here, we can see that we're trying to we're trying to show the percentage of teenagers who develop anxiety and depression symptoms. This study was performed on teenagers who are aged between 12 to 17 years who had symptoms of anxiety or depression in the past 2 weeks by daily use of social media. So we can see that we have on the y-axis the percentage of these teenagers, and on the x-axis we have the anxiety symptoms. And you can see 27.1% were using social media on a daily for more than 4 hours develop anxiety symptoms, and 12.3% of these teenagers who are having screen time for less than 4 hours on a daily develop anxiety. And then so this is basically it. So you can see that anxiety increases more when you use social media or when you expose yourself to this screen for more hours every single day. So the more screen time you have on a daily, the likely are the chances that you're going to develop anxiety. And then we see that for depression, 25.9% of teenagers who are having daily screen time of more than 4 hours developed depression symptoms, and 9.5% who are having daily screen time of less than 4 hours develop depression symptoms. So again, just like anxiety, it's the same for depression. The more screen time you have on a daily, the more are the chances, or the likely are the chances that these teenagers are going to develop depression. So that was my presentation. Thank you so much. And I'm so grateful to be part of this TeenHeal team. And I want to appreciate all of you for attending. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gerald. This was great. Thank you for the insights.